close your eyes and pull like a dog.
And a new Irish record for Phil Healy, 22.99.
Christy Cooney hands over the Sam Maguire Cup to Graham Canty, Cork All-Ireland champions for the 7th time ever.
Hello and welcome to a special bonus edition of the Star Sport podcast. My name is Jack McCarran of the Southern Star and I'm joined as always by Star Sport editor Kieran McCarthy. On today's show we're going to be chatting to West Cork Ladies footballers Áine Terry O'Sullivan, Siobhan Courtney and Martina O'Brien after they were named Team of the Year at the Celtic Hotel West Cork Sports Star Awards on Sunday evening. Before we kick things off though, I'd just like to give a gentle reminder as always to our listeners and viewers to please rate, review and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify and YouTube. Earlier in the week we released another podcast where we spoke to overall winner Phil Healy and Christine O'Neill of Corsi Rovers after the Senior County Camogie Champs picked up the Special Achievement Award at the annual ceremony, so be sure to check that one out if you haven't already. But Kieran, without further ado, you caught up with Áine Terry, Siobhan and Martina to look back on what was a remarkable season for the West Cork Ladies.
Yeah, 2020 was a historic season for the West Cork Ladies senior football team. It's the year they got their hands on the Cork Senior Football Championship title for the very first time, and they were coming off the back of losing the previous two county finals to Mourneabbey. So it was third time lucky for the West Cork Ladies, and it was such an historic achievement, and they were very deserving winners of the Celtic Hotel West Cork Sports Star Team of the Year award. So that presented us, Jack, with the perfect opportunity to catch up with some of the heroes from that West Cork team to chat about that journey in 2020 from that first game against Mourneabbey up in Mourneabbey in the group stages right to the final when they beat Mourneabbey again in CIT last September. So it was West Cork captain Áine Terry O'Sullivan, goalkeeper Martina O'Brien and Castlehaven's Siobhan Courtney. And what's interesting here is these are three of the senior players in the West Cork Ladies senior football team. They're three of the leaders in the dressing room as well, and all three played a huge part in West Cork's win. And it was also away from West Cork for a second. Siobhan captained Castlehaven to county junior glory last year. Martina won a county intermediate title with Clonakilty. So it was a hugely successful year for West Cork Ladies football last year, and these three players in particular. And before we go straight to the chat, we have to say congratulations to Martina O'Brien, who this week was named the Munster Ladies Footballer of the Year. And it's actually keeping the award in West Cork, Jack, because last year Melissa Duggan won the award. The year before it was Áine Terry won the award. So again, that highlights the strength of ladies football here in West Cork. And as you'll hear from our chat here, the West Cork Ladies were delighted to receive the Team of the Year award at the West Cork Sports Star Award as they look back on a fun, historic and unforgettable 2020. We're joined now on the Star Sport podcast by three players from the victorious West Cork team. Goalkeeper Martina O'Brien, defender Siobhan Courtney and Captain Fantastic Áine Terry O'Sullivan. And I'm going to come to you first, Martina, because this week you were named the 2020 Munster Ladies Footballer of the Year, off the back of being named on the LGFA senior team of the championship a few weeks back, along with Áine Terry as well. So you must be delighted with the accolades in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, sure. Look, I suppose it's, like these individual awards are great. And obviously you appreciate it and all that, and it's great to be acknowledged and to get anything like that is a privilege really, like. But look, it's great and it's wonderful to get, but the awards that you always want to get are kind of team awards, and like the Sports Star one there last night, the Team of the Year was, that was probably something more special because it was for everybody and everybody's work and effort was recognised, I suppose, and there was no individual there that was picked out. I know Terry accepted it, but in fairness, everyone's effort was recognised, and it's those things that you kind of look back and say, oh geez, that was great because it was for everybody. The individual awards, obviously, it's great to get those as well, but I think that the team ones are what you remember most.
Siobhan, you can give us the inside track here. As a defender, you know what it's like to have Martina as the last line of defence behind you. So what's it like when you know that Martina is behind you?
Well, you'd know she's behind you anyway. There's plenty noise, lots of that going on in your ear. No, she's brilliant, in fairness, you know, all the backs, like, you know, everyone on the team, everyone does their part. And like Martina said, like, it's real teamwork. But Martina's talking behind you really gives you, you know, it tells you where to go because she can see the whole pitch. You know, she leads from there. And like, you know, everyone, you do what Martina says. But no, like, it's really great having her there, and like the whole team of backs, everyone works together really well. And I think this year, like, it all just came together. We kind of focused on ourselves, and we, you know, we all did our bit as a team, and there was just this really great atmosphere in the camp. And you know, it felt like a club team. And like, you know, I think we got just rewards then. We kept with it, and yeah, you know, we loved it on the day. Yeah.
Áine, speaking of awards, and Martina kind of mentioned it earlier too, about West Cork receiving the West Cork Team of the Year award at the Sports Star Awards on Sunday night. But what's it like for the team to be recognised with an award, to be recognised in your home patch with such a prestigious award?
Yeah, we were just absolutely delighted, really. I said as well last night when you saw some of the teams that had won it previously. And as Martina said there, you know, it recognised the whole team for all the work and effort that went into it. You know, I think, like, say, for the likes of the management, Brian and Anne were involved for the last 5 years, and James and Michelle came in then over the last few years. And you know, it was just, you know, and Siobhan said there was a great atmosphere in the camp this year, and it kind of summed up the year really for us. It was just a really enjoyable year, and you know, we were just delighted to be named the team and of the year, and like we'll have to celebrate that now as well at some stage. We were just saying as well, we kind of missed out on we missed out on some of the celebrations with COVID. So you know, once it all calms down now, we'll have an awful lot to celebrate.
I'm going to stick with you for this one, Áine, because there were 4 steps to glory for West Cork in the 2020 County Senior Championship. And the first was that draw against Mourneabbey the first day out. And I think you got, was it 1-5 that night? That was a draw against Mourneabbey in Mourneabbey. Was that a very important result and performance to kick off the championship with?
Yeah, I think it was. I suppose I think the restrictions had just lifted a few weeks before it, so I suppose we hadn't made up an awful lot together. But Mourneabbey were probably they had the same amount of time as we did, so I suppose we just went into it. You know, we knew as well at the same time that the top 2 teams or whatever it was would qualify for the semi-final, and the other teams could still get into a quarter-final. But our main aim was to qualify straight away. But we ended up drawing on the day, but I thought it was a great team performance. And I suppose, you know, we had kind of lost in 2018, the county finals were a lot closer, whereas in 2019, I think Mourneabbey got like 3 or 4 goals in the first half. We did bring it back a small bit in the second half, but I think just playing them the first round of the championship this year, or last year, sorry, just kind of showed that we were getting closer, and that, you know, we knew we were well able. I think the way we played that day, we kind of knew from there that, you know, we had a very good chance to kind of go that step further this year and to get over the line.
And Siobhan, step 2 then was a good win against Éire Óg down in Cahill. And you just mentioned there that West Cork were like a club team in 2020. When did you start to realise, okay, we could be onto something here, that we could go one step further than we have in previous seasons?
Well, I think that game against Mourneabbey really, you know, I think it was for, like Áine said there, you know, for ourselves to realise how good we are. And it gave us more belief and confidence in ourselves, because, you know, when you're bouncing back after the loss the previous year, you know, we felt like we had left a lot out there that day. They got a lot, you know, a few quick goals at the start of the game, and it was hard to come back then. But, you know, we had that first training before the Mourneabbey game, and we had a good group together, I suppose, when it suited us that, you know, everyone was able to come to trainings and everyone was available. And, you know, the atmosphere was really great. We had really high numbers, and, you know, people were, you know, fighting for positions, and that's what you need on the team, you know, pushing each other on and encouraging each other. And, you know, that was there for the whole season. And I think that the belief was there. Like, the management always had that belief in us, and they always encouraged us, and they, you know, always got us to focus on ourselves and our own team, you know, not the opposition, what we can do. And I think, you know, they instilled that belief in us, and, you know, that stood to us. And we were able to get over the line then. You know, we had been close previously, but maybe we just couldn't put them away. But, you know, 2020 was our year.
That win against Éire Óg was 2-15-0-9, and that sent you through to the county semi-final against Ahada in Cladove, and that was the day where you went goal crazy, 9-15-19, and Fiona Keating scored 5 goals. And Martina, that was one of your quieter days in goal. You didn't have much to do at the other end. Fiona was doing all the scoring up the other side. So what was the mood like in the camp after that win?
Actually, I remember coming off the pitch. I think myself and Áine had a bit of a disagreement that day, even though we had beaten well. But I suppose we were going into that game kind of confident, coming off the back of like a good draw with Mournabbey, and like we had played really well then against Éire Óg, so we were confident enough that we could put another performance together and against Ahada, and I suppose we were looking for that, you know, that killer instinct that day to bring us into the final, because we, like I suppose previous finals and against Mournabbey, we just didn't have that. We didn't have that killer instinct that we could just pull ahead and put them away. So I think the game against Ahada really set us up for that, and we played really well. But I suppose we learned a lot from it as well. We probably left a lot behind that day as well, you know, and we were opened up a bit as well. So we had learned a lot from that game to take us into the final. But I think we learned a lot from every game that we played that year or last year. And you know, our performances were pretty steady for all of them. I don't think there was any game we could have said, you know, we really played very poorly. And it set us up really well for the Mournabbey game. And we learned, I think we grew up last year as a team, and we knew our limitations. We worked on those, and you know, I suppose we just showed in the final that we weren't scared anymore. We were ready to stand up and maybe fight for a county title. Something that we probably just weren't ready for maybe the previous years. So yeah, no, I think every game we played last year was a step up, and thank God that our best day probably was the final, and that's what you want.
Martina just mentioned the final there, Áine, and what was it like when you were preparing for that game against Mournabbey, considering that Mournabbey had beaten West Cork in the previous 2 county finals, and they're a team that knows how to win, in fairness to them. They've won All-Ireland Club titles, Munster titles, they were going for 7 in a row. So how strong was the belief in the camp going into the county final last year that you would turn over Mournabbey?
Yeah, look, I suppose we knew what we were up against. You know, they were dominating Cork over the last number of years, and to win 2 Club All-Irelands, you know, we knew it wasn't going to be an easy task for us. But I don't know, I think Siobhan said it as well, we just really focused on ourselves this year. Maybe in previous years we might have been a bit nervous going into the finals, but even the day of the match, coming up to the county final, the training was very enjoyable as well. And I suppose a lot of the clubs would have actually been out of the county championship as well. So we had good numbers at training, which really helped. I suppose we wouldn't have had that in previous years. And yeah, even the morning of the game, you know, everyone just seemed to be in good form, like, and really looking forward to it. And you know, we were ready for it. And but we still had to play probably the best game that we could that day. And I think looking back at it, I think everyone just, you know, went out there and gave it their all. And I don't think you could have said any player had a bad game that day. Everyone that came on, everyone that was just involved in the day just gave it 100%. And I think it was in the last, the second water break, I think we knew we had such an opportunity to get over the line last year. And I think just when Derek Kiley then got that goal, it was just trying to keep them out. Like, but anything could happen at that stage. But yeah, just when the final whistle went in, sure, we were just absolutely delighted. And I suppose it made it the 2 losses we had in the 2 previous years probably made it that bit sweeter as well this year. And yeah, sure, look, it was a lot of hard work in it too, but overall just the year just seemed to be, you know, a very enjoyable one for everyone. I think it made a difference that we were, you know, like a club team as well like that. So yeah, everyone just pushed so much work into it, and you know, we got the reward at the end of it.
Siobhan, you mentioned there about, like, obviously the county final day was epic. There were so many big moments. Derek Kiley's late goal, Libby Coppinger's couple of goals. Just an all-round excellent West Cork performance. What are your memories from that game? What stands out to you? Any one moment, any one goal, any one score?
Oh, not really. I think we've watched it back at home so often. I feel like I remember the playback more than the game itself. every so often at home here, it's kind of like, oh, will we watch your game again? It's kind of like, oh, I think we can call it play by play at this stage. But no, they're fairly, it was a great day, and it's actually nice to have the video of it and to be able to watch it. I suppose Dara's goal is definitely a standout moment. And then I think when the ball was coming down on top of us then in the defence, and, I suppose they were trying to scramble for a score then, we were like trying our best to hold the defence. And I remember like all the forwards back behind the goal, Áine Terry was back nearly in the full back line, and, everyone was just trying our best to keep them out. Just holding on for those last few minutes, because I mean, with Mourneabbey, you kind of never know, they could score a goal from, the 21 or, a big kick. You just never know with them. So it was really just holding on for those last few minutes.
And for you, Martina, because you knew if West Cork won that day, that would be your last game at West Cork, because Clonakilty had won the county intermediate title a couple of weeks previously and are going senior for 2021. So what was it like for you at the final whistle, knowing that you'd finally gotten your hands on the senior title you wanted, and that you were bound out of West Cork as a county senior champion?
Just pure relief, really. Obviously knowing that it was going to be my last game playing with West Cork, it was obviously one that I really, really, really wanted to win. And I suppose when you look back, it like you might never ever get a chance to play a senior county final again. And I was kind of very conscious that like I probably won't, being kind of nearly to the end of my career, and like Clon only going up this year, like we have a lot of hard work ahead of us. So I suppose I was very conscious of it being the very last probably county final I'll play in the senior ranks. And it was pure relief, to be honest, because as Siobhan said there, the last couple of minutes were a bit hectic. Like when you have Áine Terry back playing full back, I mean, you're in trouble. But it was a hectic end to it, really. Like, so I just think it was like literally, I think I kicked the ball out, and then the whistle went. So like it was just pure relief when it went, and it was joy. And when you look around, you just see everyone so happy. It just made all the previous years so worth it. All that heartache, all the training, everything. You forget about it when something like that happens. And to be honest, everyone was just so happy. And when you turn around and look at your teammates and you can see that, I think it just means everything, really. Like
both Martina and Siobhan have said, Áine, that you're in the full back line. So I know you were showing your versatility that day, but what was it like for you, kind of those final frantic couple of minutes, knowing that you were within inches and seconds of getting your hands on that trophy?
Yeah, just like they were saying, it was just kind of like mayhem really for the last couple of minutes, because I think Darren got the ball at one stage, and like I think we were only up 2 points at the time, and like anything could happen, like especially when you have like they've some fantastic players, and it was just trying to do as much as we could. Like I think, yeah, as Siobhan was saying, everyone was behind the ball. Like it was, if they were to get a goal, they would have probably been doing well too, because there was literally 15 West Corkers behind us. But it was pure relief, really. And just, yeah, as Martina said, just like those videos there when the final whistle went, they're great. Like just seeing everyone just like jumping around and all the girls coming in off the sideline. The only pity was really that we couldn't have our friends and family and supporters there, because even in the 2 county finals before it, like for a division, we had great support, like for any block or for any score, like the crowd were great. Like, so that was probably the only one disappointing side to it, that we couldn't celebrate with friends and family, but we were just absolutely thrilled. And I think, just looking back on it, you'd still be just smiling there. I think Libby's had a video there of us all running in again there yesterday when we got named Team of the Year. So, they're great memories to look back on, and it's just absolutely brilliant, yeah.
Siobhan, you obviously had a superb 2020 because you captained Castlehaven to county junior glory as well. So where does winning a senior title with West Cork rank for you?
I mean, obviously it's up there with the best, I think, like Martina was saying, I'd say there isn't many years left in me playing football. So, it's to have that opportunity to play senior in the first place, I was quite grateful for that. And then to actually win the senior county title, I mean, you know, that's not something you come by easily. It's hard fought, and it's brilliant. It's amazing to have it. I still kind of can't believe it some days. It's like, oh yeah, we did win that. But no, it is brilliant. It's definitely up there, you know. Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
Like you said there, Martina, like you knew that was going to be your last game at West Cork because Clonakilty won the intermediate. So what will you miss most about West Cork this year, next year, and years going forward?
I suppose it's the friendships you make, because like I know the girls have said it before, but it really did feel like a club team. Like I felt like I was playing with two club teams last year, you know, my own with Clon obviously, and obviously then with West Cork. It just, you went into training, and it was just pure, it was banter nearly 24/7 when you got there. Like you just got to enjoy your football, and it was with girls that I suppose we played football with a couple of years, but we all really got on so well, and I suppose the management had a lot to do with that as well. We mixed really well, and you know, when you bring clubs together, sometimes you mightn't get that right mix, but I think we did, and like I will honestly miss the crack that we had, because look, the games and the games and the winning is great, but like it's the time that you spend and it's the hard work that you do to get to those days that you'll miss. And I definitely will. I'll miss that. Now I'll obviously see some of the girls because with Cork and whatnot, but like there's other girls you'll come across them playing matches against them or whatever, but it's training with them, it's being their teammate. Definitely will miss that. And look, I suppose it was the competitiveness as well that we got from playing with West Cork. You know, we were a really competitive team and we played great football, and you know, you always, I suppose, want to play competitively and be better than what you were the year before. And West Cork definitely brought that. I think they brought some serious competitive edge. You didn't come to training without working very hard, and look, we didn't win last year without working very hard either. And to beat a team like Mourneabbey, like we were at our best. So look, I'll miss that competitiveness, but look, I'm still playing, I suppose, senior football this year with Clan, so that'll still be there. But yeah, look, it's mainly the friendships you'll miss and the crack that are around that.
And I think we have to mention the West Cork management team too, of Brian McCarthy, Anne O'Grady, James O'Mahony and Michelle Delay. Obviously, Brian works inside the Southern Star, and when we were in the office, he never stopped talking about ladies football. He was 24/7 chatting about this team, and like I was saying at the awards on Sunday night, he never stopped believing in this team either. Even after the county final wins, he'd come into work on the Monday and he'd be already kind of looking ahead to the following year. So it was just fantastic for everyone involved. So how important were the management team in this? And we can leave Brian's long speeches out of this for a second, because we all know how much he loves to talk, but I suppose the great role or the important role that management team played for you.
Yeah, look, they were brilliant. I suppose, you know, Brian and Anne were there for 5 years, and I think, you know, if it wasn't for them, really, like you wouldn't know where the West Cork team would be, really. You know, I think the first year there was there 3 divisions in the county championship, and West Cork were the only ones in competing in the last number of years. But I think you know, it's not an easy task really to manage a divisional side, because even in the summer there, we would all be playing with our clubs, like, and I think there was one day they were saying, oh, when will we train next? And sure, you know, this person was training Monday night with their own club and the other person was Tuesday night, and you know, it was just very hard to get that balance. And you know, Anne has been great as well. She does all the organising sides to training and stuff, so she was brilliant as well. And you know, Michelle being involved with Cork seniors, it was great to have her as well on board as well. And James O'Mahony definitely brought a fun side to it as well. We were down in where were we training that night? I can't even remember where it was now, but I'd say if anyone was watching us, they probably thought we could have been a cool camp, because we were playing these games. I think this was the week before the county final as well, but you know, it was actually a great laugh. But yeah, no, they were absolutely brilliant. You know, they put so much work and effort into it, and you know, we were just delighted that we finally won a county title for them. You know, just with all the work and effort that they have put into it over the last number of years. So yeah, just, you know, a massive thanks to them for sticking with us really and just helping us get over the line.
Well, I have the trivia on too. I suppose it's a chance to kind of ask a bit about the teammates. So Siobhan, I'll come to you first. Who'd be the last person on the training pitch every night?
Probably Martina, because she's normally talking. She's standing around talking just to people, you know. She's last to leave then. She's just, you know, anyone who will talk back, she'll be like, oh yeah, grand, I'll go talk to you now. And Anne then as well, Anne with her little goodies that she normally has for us. So people generally kind of hang around for them, which is good. But definitely Martina.
So Martina, so if someone could pick music for the dressing room, who'd have the best taste of music from the whole team?
Oh, sure. Come here. You're looking at her there, Áine. If there wasn't a speaker, I mean, if we were allowed, probably if the management had allowed us a speaker at training, it would have been there. And Terry would have had her phone and putting a new song for every drill that we did. Yeah, I think Niamh as well, Niamh Terry was some moment for the tunes. And if we were ever looking for a sing song, now we wouldn't physically sing, but we'd have some song from Terry to sing along to. But yeah, she was definitely the woman. She was well into the tunes.
So Áine Terry is the whole, she's the singer of the group, so is she?
Yeah.
So I come to you next. So Áine, so who is the best trainer? So who'd stay out on the pitch the longest? If we know Martina is last on the pitch, who'd stay out the longest and put in those extra minutes?
Jeez, trying to think now. I know it appears everyone's good now, but I suppose who'd be out there? Libby would be a good woman to be out there practicing. Who else? Kind of hard to think on the spot now. Anyone else, guys?
To be fair, everyone was very good. You know, there was never anyone who would kind of just run off afterwards. You know, we were, as Siobhan said, we were usually running towards Anne because she had like jellies or something for us to eat. But everyone know when we're on the pitch, in fairness, we trained very hard. Yourself as well, I suppose, Terry, kicking frees and stuff like that. You know, you put in the extra few miles, like getting a few tips from Brian.
We took a few penalties as well, so we could say myself and Martina.
We're coming off great in this.
Yeah.
I'll come to you next, so Siobhan again. So who'd lead the celebrations after? Who'd be the best on the dance floor, kind of to kind of get the party going?
Oh, Emma, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, without a doubt. No questions asked there.
To be fair, we have a lot of young ones who were good at that.
Yeah.
They were well able to start, you know, like to kind of, they knew what they wanted to do and how to celebrate, like, so the older ones had to follow on. They had the plans.
Some questionable dance moves.
Yeah, questionable.
Yeah.
Before we finish up too, I suppose we need to touch on the future of the West Cork Ladies senior football team, and it's something myself and Martina talked about before a couple of weeks ago. And I'll ask you, Áine, as captain of the team last year, we don't know right now what the future of the team is, whether you'll be able to compete in this year's championship or not. But just on the importance of the West Cork Ladies football team, what it's done for ladies football in West Cork has been brilliant. How it's helped grow in the game. So, like, you obviously want the team to kind of continue and do what you've done over the last couple of years, because it's been hugely beneficial to ladies football in West Cork and even beyond.
Yeah, definitely. I think you know, we don't know at the moment. I suppose it's kind of looking unlikely that we'll be playing in this year's championship, but with the way like COVID is going. But I think it'd be a huge shame, really, because, you know, I think like everyone wants to be playing at the top level, and I think like the only way you're going to get better really is by playing, you know, the top teams like Mourneabbey and St. Val's and, you know, Ahad and now Aero. They're all like the best teams in the county. And I think, like, you know, for say junior clubs that wouldn't have the chance to do that, like, you know, it's kind of, and it's even brought like the level of just Cork Ladies in general up. You know, when you see the likes of, I know Melissa's always used as an example, but like she's probably one of the best defenders in the country at the moment. And you know, she was probably seen with West Cork a few years ago. So, you know, I think it's so important for kind of like development of players like for that as well. And I think just for girls underage, like say for like fairly rural parts of Cork, you know, we'd be like obviously we're about 2 hours from the city down here. But you know, for girls down here that want to play at the top level as well, you know, it's just a great chance for people. And I think it made we kind of added a lot to the county championship as well. And it's just great just to get, you know, all those girls to just playing at the top level, really, I suppose, is the most important thing.
And the final question, it's for all of you. When things eventually do go back to some degree normality, is the first destination Allihies to start the celebrations properly after what you achieved last year?
Yeah,
Oh
definitely.
God.
Yeah,
You haven't been to a party unless you've been to a party in Allihies, I think.
Yeah, I know it was disappointing that we couldn't have we couldn't have it on the night last year, that we couldn't bring everyone down, but hopefully as soon as things do ease, we'll have a busload coming down.
Because at the Sports Awards on Sunday night, Breed Stack hinted at a wild celebration down that neck of the woods after an All-Ireland win a couple of years ago. So I presume it'll be party central when we do get back to normality at some point.
Yeah, you know, that night was brilliant. 2015 now, was years ago, but you know, everyone in Bear they're mad football, like, and I think, you know, there was just bonfires from the start of Bear literally to Allihies. So, and even that night, there was flares and everything. It was just a great night, really. It was, and then we're up in the community centre here, and the local club Garnish and Bear Ladies put in, you know, a huge amount of effort, and all the people here in the village were just, you know, they were just brilliant, and yeah, it was a fantastic night. So hopefully we'll get all the West Cork gang down now as well.
So that was one of those, what happens on tour night stays on tour night. So well,
for sure.
Thanks so much, Siobhan, Áine and Martina, for joining us tonight. Just had to have a look back on a great year for West Cork, and again celebrating the fact that you picked up the West Cork Sports Team of the Year award, and it was richly deserved. So congrats again, and best of luck for the season ahead.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Star Sport Podcast, #1 for sport in West Cork.
Great stuff there from the West Cork Ladies, and congratulations to the entire team, panel and management on that award. Now, Kieran, we already previewed the Southern Star Sports section in our earlier podcast this week, but maybe just give a quick reminder of what people can expect in case they didn't tune in on Tuesday.
Yeah, we have 6 pages on the West Cork Sports Star Awards, and that includes interviews with Áine Terry O'Sullivan, the winner Phil Healy, Nicola Tuttle, Christine O'Neill from Courtney Rovers as well. So you've all the coverage there. So it's almost a souvenir special for anyone related to who knows the award winners, because it was such a fantastic event. Like we said earlier in the week, it was the first time the Sports Star Awards went live, streamed live on Sunday night. And if you want to watch the awards, it's actually up on our website. So go to thesouthernstarTV/sport and you'll find the awards there. Also plenty of other reading. We've Cian Hurley from Clonakilty team made his debut for the Munster Rugby team last Friday night. Charlie Lyons from Inishannon lines out with Cove Ramblers, who kick off their League of Ireland First Division season against Cork City in a tasty derby this Friday night. The motorsport piece by Martin Walsh this week is a cracker again. It's about Michael Bones O'Connor, who was clerk of the course with the West Cork Rally for 12-13 years. So some great stuff there. So plenty of reading in this week's Southern Star, which is on sale now.
Brilliant stuff. And of course, if you can't make it to the shops to buy a copy of the Southern Star, you can always just go online, go to www.thesouthernstarTV/e-paper and read the Southern Star for less than €2 per week on your computer, tablet or smartphone. Thanks for listening to the Star Sport Podcast. We'll be back on Tuesday. If you enjoy these shows, please make sure to rate, review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Slán Tamil.